Hello, I have started reading Night Shift, which is like a pretty decently sized collection of short stories, and so far very good. I got this like years and years ago, and I started to read a couple of them, but I'm rereading it now because I honestly don't really remember the ones that I read before. Clearly I've been making quite a few little like notes and highlights and stuff. So far so good. I'll read more later tonight. I just finished The Mangler, and oh my god, it was just so good. It seems so strange, and like, I don't want to say anything about it. I'm trying to go this whole video completely free of spoilers, completely free of any sort of like plot or premise for any of the short stories, because since they're short stories, it's best to go into them without really knowing anything because of how short they are, because of the fact that even knowing the basic premise might give you too much of an idea of what happens. And I'm so excited to keep reading more of these because honestly they are only getting better and better. Like, starting out with Jerusalem's Lot as the first story in the book was such a strong starting point, and from there it's only been up. Like, everything in this book is so good. So I'm very much enjoying it so far. It is Sunday right now, and I have been plowing through this book. As you can see, I've gotten pretty far. I'm over halfway through at this point, and I like all the different subgenres of horror that are written about. I'm gonna like read down the list, like the table of contents, and see which ones I've read so I can talk about them individually. The last clip that I left off with was about the one called Trucks, which was actually pretty good. That one was scary in more of like a bleak way, which I loved. Gray Matter was really freaky. The Boogeyman was one of the few stories so far that actually like really affected me. It not so much that like I couldn't sleep or made me cry, but just in a way like I was actually kind of like genuinely terrified reading that, which I love. I love when writing has that effect on me, because obviously movies rely a lot on things like lighting and sound dynamic, anxiety based on things that you can see and hear. Stephen King's writing with all of these stories is so good because he can make you anxious in that way without relying on things like loud noises and jump scares. The Mangler and the Boogeyman both are a couple of my favorites. I really do love all of these, but I do think the Mangler, the Boogeyman, Gray Matter are probably my favorites so far. I do still have quite a few left to go, and I'll probably finish this very soon. Like within the next 24 hours I could have this book finished. So it's kind of late. It's almost 10 p.m. right now, but I finished the last story, the last page. I'm done. I finished Night Shift by Stephen King, and look at all these tabs. I say that I would give this book 4.5 stars, maybe 5. I don't usually rate books immediately after I finish them. I usually let them sit with me for a couple days and then I'll give it a rating. But honestly, I'm saying right now, this feels like a strong 5 to me because it's raw and it's great. He is an incredible storyteller. Really, honestly, in my opinion, in my experience, unmatched. And that's not necessarily to say that there's no better writer than King, but nobody is quite on par with him. Nobody quite writes the way that he does. This was easily one of the best books I've read in a long time. The best that I've read all year so far, which isn't saying a lot because it's like barely the end of February. I've read like 4 or 5 books this year only so far, and almost all of them, if not all of them, were crap. So this stands out by a landslide in comparison to some of the crap books that I've read this year, but it's just really, really good. It is just so good. I really am thrilled just at the thought of reading more of King's work. I think the next one I plan to read personally is either It or The Stand. Night Shift was easily one of the best books I've ever read, just in general, just in my life. And the fact that it's a collection of short stories makes it that much better, because it's like a million different subgenres of horror all rolled into one nice, neat package. I'm so happy that I read this. I'm just sad that it's over. I can safely say that this is definitely a 5-star book for me. It was just so great and phenomenal, and I enjoyed it in a way that I have not enjoyed a book in a long time. So, okay, cool. Thanks.